Today we will discuss special features that are in the text that you read. And you may ask, well, do I really need to know this if I'm just wanting to increase my comprehension? The answer is yes. You'll be amazed at how much more you'll understand with the content that you're reading just by being familiar with text features. And by the way, this really comes into play with your pre-reading strategies because you are actively looking for these specific features. So we will cover examples of text features with definitions. I'll give you some explanations for how these text features help you as a reader. So what exactly are text features? Well, these are things that are featured within the text, and authors include them to help the reader better understand what you have read or what you are reading. The text features provide information that may not be written in the text itself, or it may want to draw out specific information that's written in the text. And these can be found almost anywhere, textbooks, magazine articles, newspapers, reports, web pages, and all kinds of non-fiction text. One text feature is the table of contents. You are probably already pretty familiar with this because you usually see this at the beginning. So a table of contents will list the major parts of a book along with the page numbers, just so you can go to that page number and find out more on that specific topic. And it outlines the main topics or main points. You use this table of contents to help locate information in the book pretty quickly and see how everything is organized. So, if you were looking for information about where an animal lives, right, you would go to chapter 1, in this case, where it says all about animals. Scroll down to where you see animal habitats, and that is found on page 3. Another text feature is the index. Now, the index is pretty much always found at the back of the book, and it lists key names, key terms, key events, and topics in alphabetical order with the page numbers, again, beside them so you can find it. So if you know the topic but you're not sure what chapter, where to find it, just look in the index, find that information on that topic you're looking for, and you would just turn there. So in this case, if you wanted to find information in the text about acid rain, well, that's your key term there, acid rain. So you would look in, it's alphabetical, so you'd look under the A's, go down to acid rain, and there you would see the page numbers, all the page numbers listed for where acid rain is mentioned. Glossary, well, that just means dictionary. I know we're pretty much used to looking things up online, but many times terms that are specific to a content area, like in science, will list these definitions for important words in that text. Okay? And again, just like the index, it lists the key terms, the key words in alphabetical order. And beside them, it gives the definition, the meaning of the word. Sometimes it will also list the pronunciation of each word, and it may give other information as well about the word. So you use the glossary to look up meanings for terms. And of course, knowing the meanings helps you learn and understand the subject area better. So in this glossary, if you are wanting to understand more about animal adaptations, see, adaptations is a key term. So you could look up the word adapt, which means to change in order to survive in new environments. We're pretty much used to titles all over the place. Everything probably has a title. And titles just tell you, the topic of the text. That way you already have an idea just by looking at the title, usually, what you're about to read. It can show you the main idea of the text, and it helps you know what you're going to read, and then you can focus on that topic. Already get your mind ready. Already start thinking about what you already know about that topic before you read in the text. So if we're looking at these titles of these news articles, what do they have in common? Space ages here, satellite, Russia wins the race in outer space, all about space, right? Talk about moon. So that's your topic area. So you have a bunch of titles there on a similar topic. Now I really like this text feature. Subheadings are great because they are a quick way to find more specific information. Now usually you would find this within a section. Let's think of a textbook, like a chapter might have these subheadings. And what subheadings do is they divide the text into sections, and they kind of tell the main idea of that section of the text. So when you read that section, you can look at the little subheading, then you can read that section, and then you could do a recall or a retell of just that section. It's easy to find them because they are printed in large or bold type, and they stand out. They help you locate information in the text by telling you what section to look in. So here we have two subheadings, helpful ants and types of ants. Where would you look to find out about a fire ant? Under helpful ants, under that section, or types of ants? Well, you'd go to under types of ants since you wanted to know about the fire ant, and then you could find it in that section. Okay, the text itself, some parts of the text can be in bold or stand out with color or just written differently in different italics or font. And that helps send you a signal or send you a message for it to notice it. So the style and color of the text sends the reader signals about how to read the content. Key words are usually in bold or in color. Text in italics is used in picture captions or book titles or anything else that needs to just stand out. Draws your attention to important information. So an author will put the text in different fonts, italics, color, so that you will notice it. If we look in this example, the wetlands of the South, that's the title there. How do the words in italics right under it help you understand the text better? So you've got the wetlands of the South, but then right underneath it, it says, why are the South's wetlands so important? Well, there you go. It's like a title that's been turned into a question, so it helps you better understand why you're reading. I think we about all like photographs and illustrations because they give us information in a very visual way. They help tell the story. They help show the information that the author is trying to get across. So yes, they work with the words and the headings and help to teach it in a different way visually. Sometimes we as readers can look at a picture and understand way more than the information that we just read. So it can help you understand an idea from the text that maybe was unclear, and then when you look at the picture or the photograph, you're like, oh, that's what they mean. Okay? And that's why authors will put those or include photos and illustrations. If you look on this example here, how might these photos help you understand the text? If you had never seen a manatee before, right? And they start describing a manatee, when you see the picture, okay, it becomes so much more clear. Captions. You cannot overlook captions. And again, we look for these during our proofreading strategies as well when we're doing that preview. So a caption explains what is shown in a picture or illustration. So usually you won't have a picture without a caption, because they need to put some writing under there to give the reader more information. Okay? Example is we have some gold coins. Well, these gold coins were found on the ocean floor. There you go. There's your caption. So now you understand more about the picture. If you just looked at that picture with no caption, you wouldn't really understand where it was, or what it really was. You might not understand it was even gold coins. So if this article was about finding treasure, and then you look at the picture and see this caption, it would better help you understand, on the ocean floor. The use of text boxes is really there so that the author can give you added information, more information that's actually in the reading text, and it's more interesting to look at a text box sometimes. So a text box can include interesting facts or important information that the author wants you to know, and they're drawing your attention to it by putting it in a box. Or it doesn't have to be a box, it can be a circle or another kind of shape. But what text boxes do is they help you understand by creating interest. They almost draw your eye to them. So it's visually interesting, and they can emphasize important information or restate something that's in the text inside a text box. One of the text boxes above asks the reader to solve a mystery about a Tasmanian devil. Why would he include this mystery? Maybe to add interest? Get you thinking about that? Okay. Maps. I'm sure we've all seen all kinds of maps. And maps are drawings that show the basic shape of a land or geographical or political or historical features. It's another visual way to present information. They can help you understand where an event happens. So if they're talking about, let's say Texas, and you see this map of the United States, you can say, that's where Texas is located, right? So it helps you find places. It gives you added information about how far away an event took place. Diagrams is a drawing that shows or explains something. To understand a diagram, the reader should read. You got to read all the parts of the diagram, all parts of the picture. In a diagram, it's going to have titles and labels and maybe numbered parts or little captions. But they're there to help you to understand the steps and how objects are made, or just give the information that's in a text put into a visual diagram so you can definitely understand it better. So if you're talking about volcanoes, this is a volcano diagram. And now you can see, like if you're reading about the crater, you can just look at the diagram to see where the crater is located on the volcano, or the seal or the magma. So you can watch this process or look at this process on a diagram. Tables are another wonderful visual text feature that helps you understand information in text. It can take large amounts of information and put it into a smaller space. And it might have pictures and labels and words on it and show all kinds of information, from numbers to amounts to calendars to menus. But what tables do is they help you compare information that's mentioned in the text. So if you are reading and you look at this figure 2, which is a table on Cascade eruptions, think about how this would help you understand volcanoes. Timelines are another form of a text feature. Timelines show important events in chronological order, or time order, in a sequence. Timelines help you understand the order better because it's showing it to you in order, how one event goes to the next event, to the next event, and so on. Okay, until you have the final piece on the timeline. So this is a techie timeline, and if you're reading an article about some populations might not be comfortable with technology, you can look at this timeline and understand maybe why. A great activity is to actively look for articles that have different text features. Okay, you can look for an article in a news report, a textbook, or even web pages online. But look for these and try to find an example of each text feature and explain how each one would help you to understand what you have read. Here is your declaration. I will recognize text features and use them to help me understand what I am reading. Here is your activity. I want you to go on a scavenger hunt. Look in a textbook or a news report or in almost any nonfiction text to find examples of each text feature and then write them down when you find them.